Overnight, new police in Boulder say that there were more shots fired near the CU campus in the University Hill area. This time it was near the Fox Theater and the Sink, the restaurant there on the corner. Police would not tell us if anybody was injured, but they do say that a suspect is in custody.
Boulder police are still searching for two suspects in a shooting that happened over the weekend on University Hill. Police say an argument early Sunday morning led to a shooting, and when officers arrived, investigators say at least one officer shot at and hurt a third suspect. Several fraternity members who live on University Hill say they believe armed groups of people come to the area practically every weekend. Yeah, the head of the Rocky Mountain Security says that the groups try to break into fraternities, steal things, and they start fights. And they have become more aggressive lately. Rocky Mountain security guards say they've told police they've been threatened with knives and guns. Fraternity members say they're considering canceling events this upcoming weekend to try and avoid trouble.
The fact that it's a repeated incident and it's happening every weekend is just, it's really scary. And it kind of goes through my head is I have all of these people to look after and take care of, and I don't feel in good, I'm doing everything I can to take care of them, but it's just a lot to ask of a 22-year-old.
Boulder police say their statistics do show an increase in weapons incidents, shootings, and menacing calls in the University Hill area.
Now, along with that shooting in Boulder, Aurora police shot at suspects in two separate situations this weekend. Now, activists in Aurora and Denver say they want a new state law enforcement review board. During a press conference yesterday, they said the current oversight system isn't working and they want change on the state level.
We have to look at the totality of the rise in police violence towards citizens, period, and figure out how do we solve that problem. We have come up with solutions, and we're asking for our elected officials and for the community as a whole to say, hey, you know what? How do we get behind those reasonable, well thought out solutions?
Advocates also discussed non-police responders who go to emergencies, like Denver's STAR program that sends mental health professionals instead of police in certain situations. Aurora police did not dispatch a mental health worker to a call over the weekend where a robbery suspect got on a bus with a knife. Yeah, the man who was on a work release from a program that deals with mental health issues was shot and killed by police. 9 News reporter Mark Salinger learned that sending a mental health responder wasn't even an option.
Sunday night on Colfax in Aurora saw flashing lights and evidence markers. Police shot and killed a man on an RTD bus who they say was threatening people.
The suspect was reported to be armed with a large knife.
Aurora Police Interim Chief Dan Oates says the man left a work release program for inmates with mental health and substance abuse issues. Officers found him on the bus after he robbed a store. I asked the chief late last night if a clinician with the co-responder program was dispatched to the scene, since the man was coming from a facility dealing with mental health issues.
My understanding is that there was no one with those skills working at the time of this event.
We now know the reason why there was no one working. Because Aurora Police currently doesn't have a single clinician working in the co-responder program that sends an officer and a mental health professional to crime scenes together.
At this exact moment, we have 0 actual co-responding clinicians at the moment.
Courtney Tossan is the Crisis Intervention Programs Manager for the City of Aurora. Clinicians in the co-responder program usually go to calls of all types dealing with mental health issues, anything from active shooters to trespassing and everything in between. It's important to note we don't know if a clinician would have responded to this scene last night, even if there was anyone working in the program.
Well, there are people that are very interested, but you have to be willing to adequately pay those people and give them benefits that makes this worth it. Because when you go to grad school to be a therapist, you're not exactly expecting to put a bulletproof vest on every day.
Instead, Aurora's mobile response team, which pairs a mental health clinician and a paramedic to respond to nonviolent calls, is picking up some of the dispatches.
That mobile response team is helping and serving as a co-responder team of sorts, where officers are requesting that team to come out and serve more in the co-responder role when they're available and able to.
When it is fully staffed, the co-responder program has 5 clinicians. The department hasn't been at that level since 2017 and hasn't had a clinician for almost a month now. Aurora says they're in the middle of finalizing the new contract to hopefully raise pay and benefits for clinicians. They haven't given a timetable for when co-responders would be trained and ready to go back out.
Two boys are dead this morning. A homeowner in Northglenn shot and killed them for trespassing in their backyard. Police say the boys never made it into the home. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson is following the story. And Darius, whether or not this homeowner is charged will depend on Colorado law on protecting your property.
Hey there, Corey. Good morning. Yeah, Colorado has a self-defense law and a Make My Day law. In this case, our legal analyst says the Make My Day law would not apply because the boys didn't enter the home. So the question at this point in time is whether this falls under self-defense. It happened at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon in a neighborhood at Pearl and Washington Streets. Northglenn police responded to a report of trespassing and felony menacing. When those officers arrived, they found two boys under the age of 18 with gunshot wounds, both of whom were taken to the hospital where they later died. As part of the police investigation, police found that the two boys broke a fence to gain entry into the backyard of the home. The homeowner approached them and police say there was an exchange of gunfire. The homeowner is cooperating with police and our legal analyst says it's not likely they will be charged.
Colorado's self-defense statute is what covers here. The Make My Day statute does not apply in a situation where the individual has not yet entered unlawfully into a dwelling. Only an unlawful entry into the dwelling itself gives rise to the rights of a dweller under the Make My Day statute.
Now, again, they did not make it into the home. They just were able to break this fence and gain entry into the backyard. One other note, police in the area say that they were also linked to a burglary. Now, at this point in time, the homeowner is not facing any charges. Ultimately, it will be up to the district attorney, but all of that will depend on the police investigation, Corey.
Yeah, what's interesting here is that it's not like the homeowner fired shots right when they gained entry in the backyard. There was some type of exchange previously.
Yes, and I think that's one of the biggest points to be able to note as well. One thing our legal analyst says that we need to be able to figure out from police is, did this homeowner visibly see these boys with guns once they walked onto his property? So at that point, if he saw them with guns or if the homeowner saw them with guns at that point in time, that would then prompt the reason to protect yourself on your own property.
And it'll be interesting to see if the fact that this was related to a burglary in the area, if that plays into it as well.
Yeah, you never know if this homeowner knew that there were homes being burglarized in the area.
Right, and they were a little bit more alert. Very interesting. Darius, thank you.
Well, this week, election workers in Denver are going to test out a new voting system to make sure it is working and accurate for next month's election. The Office of the Clerk and Recorder does the test every year to make sure all the equipment is counting the votes properly. If you would like to see it for yourself, the test is open to the public. It'll be Thursday morning at Denver Elections Division. That's on West 14th Avenue. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And one thing you want to know about the weather today is after 73 yesterday, a little bit cooler today, only 60s and low 70s along the Front Range, maybe a late day storm. Tomorrow more in the way of sunshine and just slightly warmer with 60s and a few low 70s.